What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the 2024 Volkswagen Atlas. So the Atlas was actually refreshed in 2021. I actually titled that video 2021.5 Atlas because that's what Volkswagen was using to describe it. It was a pretty significant upgrade, having been only 3 years since they first unveiled the model. But here in 2024, we have an actual legit serious refresh, in my opinion. If someone told you this was a complete redesign, you'd probably believe them because there is so much different on this 2024 versus last year in 2023. But let's not waste any time, let's hop right into it. Now, the trim level we're looking at is the SEL Premium R-Line. So this is gonna have some R-Line specific badging, some R-Line specific accents that you may not have on other trim levels. And this model stickers at 55,451. One thing that Volkswagen really has going for it is the way that it styles the front and rear of its vehicles, especially nowadays. They use a lot of LED lighting and a lot of cool light bar effects, which I'm a huge fan of. In this main cluster in the front, you've got LED daytime running lights, LED main beams and high beams, and they have the adaptive front lighting system and poor weather lights, which I've shown off before. I'll give you a little clip here so you can see that. But then they continue over with this really cool LED light bar in the front, as well as this illuminated LED Volkswagen badge in the front. This is the updated badge, but then they just went ahead and put some LED lighting in there to just take it to the next level. Again, like I mentioned, you do have that R-Line badge up here. You've got your little turtle head front-facing camera right here. That works with your 360-degree overhead view cam system. There's a camera on either side mirror and a camera in the back. Gives you that whole view. We'll take a look at that more inside. But this grille, other than that, is pretty simplified. You have kind of a matte black as well as a gloss black highlight on the front, silver lip, body colored splitter here. If you drop down, you have this black accent that adds an additional split. There's just a lot of layers going on. It's like a quadruple layered Oreo up here. Over on the sides, you have a little more accent design piece here with a little bit of a chrome trim, parking sensors dotted around. Then at the bottom of the lip where the air intake is, you've got more parking sensors, some more silver accents, and some more gloss black accents as well. Another big change for 2024 is under the hood. Volkswagen got rid of the 2 engine options, simplified it down to just 1. This is a somewhat new 2-liter turbocharged engine, 269 horsepower, 273 pound-feet of torque, 25 miles per gallon highway, 19 miles per gallon city. It's paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission with Tiptronic. Our specific SEL R-Line here is riding on 21-inch wheels with all-season tires. They're a 2-tone alloy wheel. The wheel designs across the board for every trim level got redesigned here for 2024. So you can see here what they look like on the SEL Premium R-Line. The wheel design's pretty simplistic, I think. It's not bad looking by any means. It's 10-spoke wheel. Pretty simple, but, you know, elegant, I guess, would be the best way to put it. If we move on back, we've got this chrome R-Line badging, body color side mirrors. These are power folding, blind spot monitoring, built-in turn signals. They're heated, super fancy, and of course, they have the camera up underneath that works with that 360-degree system. Moving on back, you have a keyless access system, but this is one that's a little more advanced. It has approach functionality. So if you got the key in your pocket and you get within a certain distance, it's going to automatically unlock. So some nice features there as well. Chrome trim runs around the windows and down at the bottom. Chrome roof rails up top. Also for 2024, the Atlas has added the Peak Edition appearance package, and that comes with 2 different exclusive color options, avocado green and pure gray, and it gives you a more rugged and outdoorsy look. And I'll have pictures and stuff on screen so you can see that. Moving here to the tailgate, you're really gonna notice, wow, do you have a light bar right here. I mean, goodness gracious. This thing's probably like 6 inches thick. It's absolutely massive, and it kind of blends right into your LED taillights. So LED taillights, gigantic light bar that runs across here. You've got your Volkswagen badging as well. Atlas badging here, this hasn't changed. Rear wiper, tinted rear glass with a nice slant here. A little bit of a spoiler as well up top. SEL badging and your 4Motion all-wheel drive badging. It's pretty clean back here as far as badges go, and I really like that because some brands, Subaru, do way too many badges, and it just is cluttered and a mess. Got your rear camera up under here with your little sprayer there as well. Reflectors here at the bottom, more parking sensors. You do have quad chrome exhaust tips here, but they are faux exhaust tips, so sorry guys. And then your tow hitch here as well. And although the engine options have changed, you still maintain the 5,000 pounds of towing capacity on every trim level. It does have a power liftgate with an easy open feature and easy close feature as well. You've got some all-weather monster mats back here. The third row seats are down right now, so it looks like there's a little bit more room than there actually is, but here's your dimensions when the third row seats are up, and then when the third row seats are down, and then when the second row seats are down. So a lot of potential cargo capacity. You do have a spare tire down here. and whatever in God's name this giant thing is. Lots of hooks for your cargo system here, 12-volt outlet as well. So plenty of space back here. Super nice functionality, great family vehicle for that reason alone. Button here to close the lift gate. But let's hop inside the updated cabin. So here inside the cabin is where you're really gonna notice the refresh, or in my opinion, what should more appropriately be called a redesign, because this thing looks so different to me. Mainly this center console here and the updated infotainment display, but you have a new graphics package here on the digital display. You've got new materials in the cabin. It's really nice, and we're gonna talk about all of it. So let's go ahead and just start here on the left. So one of the big changes here for 2024 is just updated materials across the board, more premium type stuff on the seating surfaces, a lot less plastic, not entirely, but less. Up here, you have a soft touch rubbery material. You have your choice of kind of additional textured materials. This is a plastic, but it's a faux wood grain plastic. Silver door handles and a little accent around your Harman Kardon speaker system here. Under the faux wood grain, you've got more kind of a soft touch black leather with accent stitching and perforations. Here on the door handles, more accent stitching, more soft touch black leather. Mirror controls, and then let's hop over to the steering wheel for 1 second. This steering wheel is really the only thing that I think has really kind of carried over. This doesn't have the entirely new kind of Volkswagen design language to it, mainly the button layout. It doesn't have the touch capacitive buttons here on the steering wheel. It has the same physical buttons, which I think a lot of people prefer. I, for one, like the touch capacitive, but I know not everybody does. You've got the buttons for your adaptive cruise control. On the left side, it is predictive adaptive cruise control, and it has travel assist, which we'll take a look at in the test drive portion. And then over here, you have your media controls, and you have your button for your heated steering wheel, which is now a standard option on all trim levels for 2024. But the design with this kind of gray leather with the accent stitching, the little chrome Volkswagen badge, the textured part on the horn, the silver, the R-Line badging, all that looks very similar to what we've had in the past. So not a big change there. But that doesn't mean that we got rid of touch capacitive buttons altogether. If we move down to the left here, for your lighting systems and your front and rear defoggers, you do have touch capacitive buttons, and those will also enable your poor weather lights that I mentioned outside. Now moving up just a bit, you have dual vents here, which I could really use right now because it is 1,000 degrees. Up here, heads up display, and then down from that, you have your 10.25-inch digital display cluster, the Volkswagen Digital Cockpit. Now I've talked in other Volkswagen videos about how you have two different versions now. You have a Digital Cockpit Pro, and then just your Digital Cockpit non-pro, lower level, garbage graphics, you name it. This one looks different to me than any one that I've seen, which is weird. I guess this is kind of their updated ID4-esque design language, but not on that tiny little ID4 dash. So this is maybe their new graphics package that we'll see going forward. I've never seen it before, but this is the first 2024 model that I've taken a look at. But you've got all your same kind of functionality. It just looks, honestly, a lot better to me. Way more updated, way cleaner, way crisper, more modern, basically. But you have kind of the same deal that you could do before with all your different layouts and things like that. I really like it. You can see all your safety systems on there, your adaptive cruise control systems, all that functionality, nice and easy to see right there. So a change, but a nice change. I really like what they did with the graphics package here. Speaking of graphics packages, check out this new 12-inch infotainment display here. This has Volkswagen's updated infotainment system. We first saw this debuted on the ID4, but now you can get it on all kinds of different vehicles. You can get it on the GTI, you can get it on the updated Tiguan. My biggest issue with this infotainment display was the usability. I made 5 things I hate about the Volkswagen Atlas video. One of them was how clunky and miserable this display was to use. I don't want to jinx it, let's knock on the faux wood here, but I think they fixed it. From what I've done so far in using it, just in this few minutes I've been using it, it seems a lot smoother. I'm not seeing as much lag and stutter between the apps, so they might have gotten through enough versions of it to where it's maybe more usable now. I've always absolutely loved the look of it. It's clean, it's modern, simple icons and logos. Everything's really nicely laid out. You can customize it color-wise, and it updates everything across the board, from your digital display to the infotainment screen to your LED lighting. Everything can change based on what colors you like. You have your climate control, everything good on here. Wireless CarPlay, Android Auto, you name it, you've got it on here. You have that 360-degree camera system here as well, so you can click through your different camera views. So ton of great functionality on this infotainment display. And as long as they fixed everything as far as the lag goes, this is really a great system. You also have this little screen where you can kind of get these split displays here that give you all kinds of different vehicle information, whether that's mapping directions, vehicle information, oil level, tire pressure, vehicle status, you name it. You also have your climate control menu here, so you have a couple different options. You have a smart climate, which gives you very basic things like clear view of my windshield, warm feet, warm hands, cool feet, fresh air. And you can just tap those and it will automatically adjust things to give you that. Classic climate just gives you what you're used to. Pick which vents the air comes out of, pick what temp, pick what fan speed. Sync driver, passenger, and rear passenger. This is a tri-zone climate control system, so everything can be individually adjusted or synced together, as well as an advanced ventilation system for your air conditioning, which is nice to have. Turn on the climate control and then you hit air care and all the doors are shut. It's going to kind of give you this animation of it kind of sealing the cabin with this advanced ventilation system. So who knows how much that actually does, but if you're in one of those Western states that deals with a lot of wildfire issues, or honestly, here in Louisville, Kentucky, we have had a ton of kickback from the Canadian wildfires recently. This would have been a huge game changer for that, just being able to, seal it up so you're not getting that really bad air quality inside your cabin. And then you do have your heated and ventilated seat option, and the ventilated seats are now standard. Moving on down from that, like I said, you do have touch capacitive buttons for controlling your temperature right here, as well as your audio volume. Slide that back and forth or tap to adjust that. Under that, you have more touch capacitive buttons for your assist systems, your climate control menu, your driving mode, and for the menu for the actual infotainment display. A couple more vents here. You have a little cover that you can put over your wireless charging pad area. You do have 2 USB-C ports, no USB-A ports that I see. Wireless charging pad for your Qi-enabled devices right here. Another little pad. But this entire center console area has been completely changed. So you used to have a physical shift knob here. Now you have a shift-by-wire system. Updated push-to-start engine button. This is awesome. Volkswagen's old push-to-start engine button was that little silver circle. And for whatever reason, the way they designed it, the lettering would sometimes scrape up a little bit and it was metal. So it would become basically like a finger murder tool. So I went to push the push to start button. One of the little pieces was poked up, stabbed straight into my finger and broke off. And I had a piece of metal Volkswagen push to start button inside my finger for like a month. So I'm glad they fixed it, replaced it with just this nice, simple, flat button that probably won't have that issue. But this entire shift by wire pad has been added. But your park is a button, and then your reverse, neutral, drive, and sport are all on this little toggle lever here, which I think is really nice. It's very simple, nice and easy to use. Electronic parking brake here as well. 2 cup holders, little pad back here. Nice big center console area with an additional USB-C charging port. More accent stitching up here on the center console area. And then since this is a shift-by-wire pad, like I talked about in my Outback video, if you guys haven't seen that, go check that out. When you open up this bottom part and you add a shift-by-wire pad and get rid of the big clunky manual shift knob, it opens up so much space. And so you can have these pass-through areas underneath that are good for storage. They just make the cabin feel more open and big and spacious and less kind of cramped where your legs feel like they're kind of jammed in. So you do have this big open area up under here. No additional charging that I feel down there, but you do have a nice big pad here for storage, which is nice. So as far as seating surfaces go, these are a Titan black Vienna leather seating surface with this silver piping accents with stitching as well. Again, like I mentioned, they have quilted patterns in them now, which is a nice premium touch. Driver is an 8-way power adjustable with lumbar support and position memory. Passenger seat is also a power seat. They're both heated, they're both ventilated. The second row seats are also heated on the outboard sides. Up top here, you do have a really premium rear view mirror. You guys know I love this. It's auto dimming. It has universal HomeLink garage door controls, as well as a compass here. And then you have more touch capacitive buttons up top here for your dome lights. Here you just tap right here and they fade out. And then you can slide back these to reveal this beautiful, massive panoramic sunroof that I absolutely love. So hopping inside the beautifully quilted second row here, you've got the option between the second row bench as well as second row captain's chairs. This one obviously has the second row bench, but man, is this a spacious second row. I mean, goodness gracious. I've got plenty of headroom here. Beautiful panoramic sunroof, opens up the cabin real nicely. LED dome lights right here. You can touch those to turn those off. Over on the door panels here, again, more of that faux wood, but basically the exact same door materials that you have on the front, which is always nice to see. You have a little sunshade here as well. That's always a nice touch, especially if you have babies back here, car seat, that type of thing. Little pocket here, 2 cup holders, mat pocket for your iPads. Rear vents here. Again, this has its own climate control system back here. 2 USB-C ports and a 115 volt outlet back here as well for laptops, bigger iPad chargers, you name it. Super comfortable seating surfaces back here. These 2 outboard seats are heated. They have the same quilted leather material. You have the handles on the back there that you can use to drop them if no one's sitting here, but you also have a handle on the bottom left side and on the other side, the bottom right side, that you can actually lean these seats back, which is amazing. Sucks for your third row passengers, but for you in the second row, it's great. And then finally, you have this little center console area that you can drop down to get 2 more cup holders. 2 adults back here, no problem. Honestly, 3 adults back here, definitely doable. Not the most comfortable, but 3 kids, absolutely no problem. Maybe not the case for the third row seats. So like I said, you can grab this lever here, pull it back to fold up the second row seats to get access to the third row back here. Very easy to access when these second row seats fold forward. If we go ahead and pull these bad boys back and lean them back to their normal position. I don't know if you guys can see this. Look at where my knees are. I can't flex my knees out altogether. They're so compact back here. I'm 6'1", so if you're above 6'1", if you're 6'2", 6'3", you're gonna have to put your knees like up to your chest. It's not functional. If you're shorter than 6'1", you can definitely get back here more easily and maybe have a little bit more space than I do. It's not the most comfortable seating position, definitely. The materials are great back here still. Not the same quilted material actually, but same quilted pattern. Comfortable seats nonetheless. You do have rear vents back here, so although you might feel kind of stuffy, you'll have some at least vents for heating or cooling. You have 2 more USB-C ports on the left side, none on the right side that I see, but you do have some smaller cup holders, but cup holders nonetheless. The headroom, not bad. LED dome lights with the tap feature and these adjustable headrests that can go real high. They keep them real low because I think they assume that you're gonna have kids sitting back here because that's the only people that would be super comfortable back here. If I had this Atlas, I would never need the third row. I'd just drop it down, get the extra cargo capacity, call it a day. All right, let's take the Atlas here for a little test drive. I've really enjoyed the time that I've spent with it so far. I think they made a lot of really good changes, and I think almost all of them are for the better. I have a hard time thinking of one that I dislike. So you can see you've got navigation on here as well, which I really like. Again, you can get rid of those gauges by holding view. That's nice, I like that. I think if I were using this vehicle more so, I would use the driver assistance features here, one of which being my favorite, and that is travel assist. And that is Volkswagen's semi-autonomous driving system. You guys know I rave about those, and Volkswagen's is one of the best. And I'm not exaggerating there or being hyperbolic. It is one of my favorite systems. But the usability of the infotainment system, I've been using it while driving here. It's not a problem at all. Nice and simple, very clean. I'm a big fan. I will point out one thing that I'm less than satisfied with, but so far I really like it. But let's go ahead and turn on travel assist here and hit set. Look at that animation there. So cool. Now this is a tight turn. Watch this. Look at that. Holy cow. That is crazy. It does a really good job keeping me in the center of the lane. Obviously, it's an adaptive system, so if a vehicle slows down in front of me, or even this vehicle oncoming here, it's slowing me down a little bit predictively. That's the predictive part that I mentioned there. But this car in front of me is slowed down a little bit, and you can see it showing up on the screen there. And again, I'm hands off right now. It'll probably bark at me to keep my hands on the wheel. Yeah, it's saying take over steering there. But again, I want to watch this thing go on another curve because that's where it's really fun. It's, again, some of the systems we've looked at in previous videos, they just can't do it. And the travel assist, it can do it. It's mad. Again, I'm just keeping my hand on the wheel. I'm not actually applying any steering, braking, accelerating, anything. It's doing all of it. So this vehicle in front of me is slowing down, so I can feel it putting on the brakes and turning around this curve. And it just brings me all the way down to a complete stop. Beautiful. But look, it even shows how this is no longer a solid line, but it's a striped line there. It's almost got that like Tesla quality to it, not to the extreme where it shows you every single building and car around you, but it does show you the cars in front of you, and it shows you whether it detects lines or not and what type of line it's detecting. That's pretty impressive at this price point. But talking about just the overall driving experience, again, the Atlas is large. It feels big. And you know, I'm used to driving a compact SUV with my Bolt, but it does feel like a pretty large SUV because it is. And you get pros and cons with that, but one of them is just the overall driving feel. I've been driving it just in the normal driving mode, but if we go ahead and switch it from eco mode over to sport mode, let's go ahead and get an acceleration test in sport mode. So once it gets going, yeah, you can definitely feel that 269 horsepower, even on this larger size SUV. Steering responsiveness is really, really good. Braking is solid. All of the driver assistance functions work so well in Volkswagens since they fixed this infotainment system and made it fluid and usable. I'm such a big fan of it now. I've always liked the graphic style, but now with its current positive boost in driver usability and overall function, I think it's bumped up a significant amount in my book. But one thing I wanted to show you that I think is a little bit of a letdown is this rear camera system. Now, I talked about it being a 360-degree overhead view cam system. I went ahead and pulled it up, and this is one of the kind of lower resolution camera systems that I've seen. It's hard to tell since I'm filming a screen, but if you guys were to look at this screen with your naked eye, it's very fuzzy and noisy. There's a lot of static on the specific angle views, and I'm just not overly impressed with that. But I think for $55,000, what you get is pretty reasonable. You get a very large SUV with a third row, huge amount of cargo space with those third row seats down if you don't need them. Updated infotainment that's 12-inch now. You got your 10.25-inch digital gauge cluster, redesigned center console, updated lighting system, updated design language on the interior, giant panoramic sunroof, all kinds of really premium safety systems and semi-autonomous driving features, LED lighting throughout. Again, like I mentioned, the updated seating surfaces with the new textures and quilted patterns and things. For the price, I'm a big fan. I think it's worthwhile. Now, if some of these kind of redesigns and premium touches come to a top-of-the-line Tiguan and you can get it for the low 40s, man, that's a steal. But I really, really like the Atlas here. I'm a big fan of what I've experienced in it so far, and you guys should definitely check it out. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Drop a like on the video if you loved it. Tell me in the comments down below, what is your favorite new addition to the Volkswagen Atlas? Is it the infotainment display? Is it the redesigned center console area? Drop it down in the comments and let's have a conversation. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to be among the first to see every single new video the second I hit publish. We'll see you in the next one.